Let's actually start with a flashback. Let's go back to just July of this year. You're going to hear Tulsi Gabbard, and then we'll follow up with what the breaking news is. Go ahead.
The report we released today shows the ICA, the Intelligence Community Assessment, did not cite any report where Putin indicated helping Trump win was an objective. The opposite is true. With regards to the Steele dossier, we now know that one of the source documents that the Obama administration used in the creation of this intelligence assessment in January of 2017 was none other than the discredited, unverified Steele dossier. The House Intel report states, quote, contradicting public claims by then CIA Director Brennan that the dossier was not in any way incorporated into this intelligence assessment. The dossier was referenced in the intelligence assessment's main body text and further detailed in a 2-page assessment annex.
When you hear what Director Gabbard is saying there, and she laid out a lot more this year as well, and we can get into some of that, is that the ICA, the Intelligence Community Assessment, that is one of the key launching points of the Russia collusion hoax. That is when the intelligence community had done many ICAs, Intelligence Community Assessments, leading up to the 2016 election. After President Trump won, then President Obama ordered a new ICA. And what did John Brennan and James Clapper and Jim Comey do? They took their marching orders and they came up with a new ICA, which completely contradicted all the previous assessments of the intelligence community leading up to the election, and included things that members of the CIA were pushing back against their director, saying this should not be included. This is substandard. This is unverified. This is salacious. This we don't even believe is good intelligence. But he said, you're going to do it anyways because, quote, doesn't it ring true? Because he was seeking confirmation bias. He knew what he wanted to believe and what he wanted the ICA to say and pushed the intelligence community to do just that. And that is what was the launching point for the Russia collusion hoax, for the Bob Mueller investigation special counsel, for the years of turmoil and waste of taxpayer money that the American people saw. This was one of the chief architects of that, John Brennan, former director of the CIA. And years later, we're seeing all the documentation that proves that they orchestrated this fraud and hoax on the American people.
Yeah, I mean, we all knew it all along.
Right.
In some ways. It's something we talked about ad nauseum for years and years, that this was a lot of, I mean, at best, very loose intelligence.
And so now we have a new administration. We don't have the shadow of the Mueller investigation, which kept so much from happening in the first Trump administration. And we now know that the DOJ has a grand jury investigation being conducted against John Brennan. This comes after Jim Jordan, the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, sent a criminal referral to the DOJ for him lying under Congress. We even have that sound where he said, no, the Steele dossier was not used by the CIA.
Let's hear it. We got bite 2 back in 2017.
Did the CIA rely on it?
No.
Why not?
Because we didn't. It wasn't part of the corpus of intelligence information that we had. It was not in any way used as a basis for the intelligence community assessment that was done. It was not.
I mean, that is so definitive. It's not even the dodge of like, not to my knowledge. I don't recall. It was no several times. We didn't. It was not used in any way. It was not. 3 times he denies using that.
Heard that before.
Right. Doesn't end out well. So he denies it 3 times in that one statement, and we know it was a lie based off of his own writings and memorializations and memos within the CIA. So we know the DOJ now has a grand jury impaneled. How do we know that? From his own attorney.
Yeah, they've confirmed it.
Who is trying to push back. We have the 16-page letter from his attorney to Chief Judge Cecilia Altanaga.
Yeah, TLDR, man.
Trying to say, look, we're going to argue jurisdiction and venue later, but at very least, you got to stop the DOJ doing what they're calling judge shopping, trying to get it in front of Eileen Cannon.
Yeah, I think some people have probably seen our thumbnail and go, why is Eileen Cannon on our thumbnail?
Well, specifically because this letter. Remember, Eileen Cannon was the judge that was overseeing the special counsel Jack Smith's investigation into the classified documents case. She ruled favorably for the defendant in that case, President Trump, in many instances, in the ways that the special counsel was used. And because of that, they see her as persona non grata when it comes to maybe being overseeing their prosecution. They're pushing back, trying to get the judge to do something which would be ordinarily not happening. You don't normally see a chief judge step in and block something like this early, and they even admit to that in the letter, but they are trying to make sure that it doesn't end up in front of her. Now, we'll see how all that plays out. But a lot of this is just extraordinary to even see the recognition by the attorneys in a letter to a chief judge in the Miami district, in the Southern District of Florida, that says, listen, we know this is happening. We know that there's a grand jury impaneled and a second grand jury impaneled. We think this is abnormal. Therefore, you need to shut this down. And not even getting into the fact of almost conceding that there will be an indictment that they will have to fight later on. And then they're going to fight the venue, the forum, all of those things.
Yeah, it's not going to be over anytime soon.
So it's a big fight coming. But right before Christmas, we have confirmation that the DOJ is actually seeking an indictment of John Brennan.